Hi everyone, let's start on writing and solving linear equations. So our learning target today is being able to solve a real world problem with multi-step linear equations in one variable. So we've already practiced solving equations. We've even practiced writing equations. So now what we're going to do is we're going to write the equation and then we're going to solve it. All right, so example 1, we are going to write and solve the equation. The student council raised 2/5 of the money they need to cover the cost of the school dance selling cupcakes. They raised an additional $150 by selling raffle tickets, and a local business donated 1/4 of the cost of the dance. If the student council has $1,710 in their budget, in their account, how much money did they budget for the dance? So we are going to look at this and say their total is 1,710. And then what they're spending, or the money they're raising, they have 2/5 of the money that they need was raised selling cupcakes, plus they raised $150 selling tickets, and then a company donated 1/4 of their money for the dance. So that's the cost. C stands for cost. Okay. So again, 2/5 of the cost came from the cupcakes, 1/4 of the cost came from a company, and the other 150, and that's not of the cost, that's just $150 that they have from raffle tickets. So now that we have this equation, I'm looking at this going, I know what I don't like. The part that I don't like is the fraction. So how do I get rid of the fraction? Well, I multiply by the denominator. Now, if you have a calculator, the calculator that does fractions, you can actually just do all of this with the calculator, okay? But I'm going to go ahead. I don't have a calculator here in front of me, so I'm going to take the common denominator. What number can 4 and 5 multiply into? That would be 20. So since the common denominator is 20, I'm going to multiply the right side times 20 and the left side times 20. So 20 times 1,710 is 34,200. 20 times 2/5 gives me 8C. Remember, 8C is for cost. 20 times 150 gives me 3,000. And 20 times 1/4 gives me 5 times the cost. So it looks like I was eliminating my denominator, but really what I did is make the whole problem 20 times bigger. That's why my numbers are much larger now, so that I don't have to deal with fractions. Okay? Now moving the, or combining, so I have 34,200 is equal to 8C and 5C gives me 13C plus 3,000. Subtract 3,000 from the opposite side. That gives me 31,200 is equal to 13C. Divide both sides by 13, and I get C equals 2,400. Okay, so the amount they had budgeted for the dance was 2,400. And now let's go on to check your understanding. Now, I want you to try this one. I know there's going to be fractions involved, so let me help you set up the equation part, okay? So a sporting goods store sold 2/3 of the basketballs, so they already sold that. But 8 were returned. They also had to return the provider's 16 damaged basketballs that they needed to return. Now the store has 38 basketballs. That's our total. How many basketballs were originally sent to the store? So they started out with a certain number of basketballs. Okay. Out of that, they sold, so they subtracted out 2/3 of the basketballs. Now, out of those 2/3 basketballs, 8 of them were returned, so they got 8 of them back. And then they had to also send back 16 more. Okay, so how many basketballs were originally sent to the store if the total is 38? So again, look at our denominator is 3. How do we get rid of 3 in the denominator? Instead of dividing by 3, we're going to multiply by 3. So 3 times b is 3b. 3 times negative 2/3 b is negative 2b. 3 times 8 is going to be 24. And 3 times 16 is going to be negative 48. 3 times 38 is going to be 114. Now 3b minus 2b gives me b. 24 minus 48 is negative 24 equals 114. Now adding 24 to the other side, I get b equals 138. Okay, oops. All right, that is that one. Now, let's go on to example 2. Now on example 2, write and solve the equation for the school drama club. So the school drama club charges $14 for each adult ticket and half the amount for each child's ticket. Each adult brought a child. The club borrowed $850 to pay for the costumes and props. After paying back the loan, the club has a profit of $1,670. How many adults attended the play? So on this one here, we know that it's $14 per adult plus 1/2 of whatever the adults paid for a child minus $850 that they borrowed. They're going to eventually have to pay $1,670. So let's go ahead and work on this one. So I typically want to get rid of that fraction first, but before I get rid of the fraction, I want to get rid of parentheses, so I'm going to multiply this. Okay? So I'm going to have 14a. 1/2 times 14a is 7a minus 850. All right, now 14a and 7a are both variable terms. So that gives me 21a minus 850 equals 1,670. So we've got 21a equals 2,520. And then when we divide both sides by 21, a equals 120. All right, last one here for you is check your understanding. And I am going to stop there. Sorry about the music. End of the school day here. Okay. Check your understanding. for this one, sorry about that noise. Your answer on this one should be W equals 12. That's what you should get for this one. W equals 12. Again, sorry about the music. I will try to remake that video, but if not, at least you have this one.